welcome back to the channel. It's week 8, I think. It's Wednesday, and I'm heading out for a long run. Confused?
Going in! 3, 2, 1, go!
Last week, I had to swap a few things around this week. Not only am I not doing workouts on Tuesdays and Thursdays this week, and then long run Saturday, I'm running the big miles Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because this weekend I'm going to a Priscilla Schreier conference thing with a group of ladies from my church. I'm super excited. I've never heard her speak before, but I've seen clips obviously of her speaking on Instagram, and I think she's an amazing speaker, so I'm super excited for that. So because I was going to be out of town on Saturday, I had to figure out what to do with the long run of 9 miles. So what I did is I looked at the weather app, and the weather is very subtly starting to cool down here, which is amazing. But this Wednesday morning was the coolest morning of the week. So I was like, I will do a run Monday, do long run Wednesday, do my workout, which is tip mode this week on Friday before we head out in the afternoon to go to the little conference thing. So that is the overall view of this week. So yeah, I'm driving out to my favorite place to run at the dam right now. My car is reading 53, which is awesome. And Monday was supposed to be one of the 45-minute runs. Ended up just being 30. I ran with the high school cross-country team. And I was going to do, an extra 15 when I got home, but that did not work out just with, family stuff and things like that. And then yesterday I actually got to do a little bit of running. I just did a very easy, shakeout, if you will, just to get ready for this morning with the middle school cross-country team. So I just did a mile yesterday. So far this week I've done 3.5, and I got this 9 today. So I'm just looking forward to getting this 9 under my belt, getting it done, and being able to go home and know that the rest of this week, it's just easy running. The long miles are done, and I can look forward to this weekend. So it looks very foggy, which actually always looks really pretty over the lake. So I'm looking forward to that. And I hope that there's still some people vacationing up here, and I'll get to see some puppies while I'm out running. This is why I like to run at the dam, because of the dogs, all the people vacationing with their pups. So let's get there. Let's do the 9. Let's get it done. Mile 1. Two miles, a little over 2 miles. Feel okay so far. Three. Halfway there. Actually, a little over halfway there. Doing good for my paces. We'll see how the second half goes. Sometimes God blesses you with something amazing. That, my friends, is a sweet little fawn. Oh, and it didn't run away. I was so happy it didn't. There it is, folks. 9 miles, 10:08 average pace. It's so hard for me not to get emotional, because that's really, really good. So if any of you guys are struggling with the heat like I was, just be encouraged that once those temperatures drop, you'll see the fruits of your labor of running in the heat. I mean, that's way better than any of my shorter long runs, when it was warmer. And it's so encouraging, and it's what I needed. And I actually finished the 9. I still got basically a half-mile walk back to my car across this beautiful thing. So I'm just gonna enjoy the fact that I got it done, and for me, spectacular fashion. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is how bad my knee hurts. But I'm awful about stretching before I start, and I should have. So I'm just gonna ice it, take care of it. Might take some ibuprofen. But when we get back to the car, we got some Dare to Dopey business we gotta take care of. I just got out of the car and looked in the rearview mirror and I realized it looks like I've been swimming a little bit. It's not as humid, temperature's down, but still got sweaty a little bit. So for Dare to Dopey group long run theme this week was because they released the marathon medals, which we'll talk about later. She wanted us to share our favorite medal, and I have several that I like, but I guess it probably doesn't come as a shock to anyone that follows me that my favorite is my Goofy, just because it represents the first time I trained for a marathon, first time I ever did a challenge like that, a half and a full, and plus I just love Goofy. And this was, I think I felt so lucky that the year that I decided to do my first marathon and my first Goofy challenge and all of that was the year that they did the 90s theme for that weekend. It was just fantastic. My little 90s heart was just in heaven. And so, I love all of my medals I got that weekend, but of course Goofy, and you got all the characters on the back. This is just sometimes they just hit it out of the park with their medals. So, but speaking of that, I'm gonna get home and let my dogs out because they've been in their crates for a bit now, and get myself a little cleaned up and, ice all the things that hurt. And we'll talk about the marathon medals because I do have a few thoughts about them. Still love them all. Got a few thoughts. Well, the last time you saw me, it was Wednesday, and I was super excited about how well that 9 miles went. It's now Friday. Yesterday, I woke up feeling okay, but I guess I didn't do quite as much recovery as I should have, or maybe it still would have hurt anyway, but I wanted to just go for like an easy 2 mile little shakeout jog, whatever, on my street. Didn't even make it down the driveway without my left knee just hurting. Like, the worst it's hurt since I've started training. So I was in a pretty bad mood all day Thursday, trying to figure out what I was gonna do about that. But I iced it like 3 or 4 times on Thursday. I did some non-weight bearing weights. I have ankle weights, and I just did some straight leg raises and leg extension leg curls, and I did my ankle bands, and just tried to stay off my feet a little bit. And today, Friday, my workout besides the long run that I had this week was a tempo run. So I just did the same workout that I did before for tempo, which was half-mile warm-up, a mile at tempo, quarter-mile walk, mile at tempo, quarter-mile walk, and then a little jog, cool down. That got me up to 3.5 miles, and that was on the treadmill. That felt fine. The only thing that bothered me was my right foot. I think just is still a little tired from 9 miles, so it was hurting a little bit, but I'm more concerned about my knee. My knee did not hurt on the treadmill, so I think if I just ice it a whole ton every day for the next 20 weeks, I think I'll be okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens when we get to the 11-mile run in a couple weeks, but I wanted to get on here, close out the video, and I haven't talked about the marathon medals yet, so I have them pulled up on my phone, but I'll insert pictures. But I love the what is it, like, I guess the varsity look, or I don't know what you call that look that they're going for, but I love it. Pluto looks like he's got that teal thing going on. 10K is, Chippendale's cute. I'm not like the biggest Chippendale person, but I do love the half marathon with I love blue, so baby blue. It's so super cute, and sometimes it's kind of hard to tell what the movement, if there's any movement on these medals. But with the marathon one, it does kind of look like Mickey and Minnie might be like on like a spring, like they come out a little bit and they might have a little bit of movement. There was another medal I have that did that. And then, of course, Goofy Challenge. It almost looks like it wants to be a spinner, but I'm not really sure with that 20-year anniversary thing at the top if it's going to spin, but surely it moves in some sort of fashion. And then of course Dopey. I love how it looks. I guess it's probably like a magnet, but you have the Dopey and then the front part comes down and underneath it has Dopey running with the medals and it says finisher. So it's hard to believe that I'm going to be carting around 6 medals by the end of that weekend. But like I said, on Thursday, I was feeling really bummed about my knee hurting. But I was like, you know what? This is how I was feeling today. I know, assuming that I don't get sick or any sort of major injury, I feel very confident that I can finish Dopey. I might be like super tired by the end of it, but even if I have to balloon lady walk it, by the time we get to marathon day, I'm fairly confident in my ability to finish Dopey. What I'm not super confident about when it comes to the pains that I'm dealing with right now is being able to meet my time goal that I've set for myself for St. Jude, which is, a sub 5-hour marathon. Which, some people that might sound slow, but for me, it's a challenge and something I'm shooting for. But like if my knee starts hurting like it did on Thursday during that marathon, it's that goal is not going to happen. I'm not going to be able to keep up that pace with that pain. So that makes me very nervous, but we're just going to take it week by week, I guess. And if anything, I'll go out to St. Jude. I will, do the 26. It may not be my goal time, but I'm supporting a great cause, and it really is such a fun race, how the community comes out. So just going to do what I know I need to do everything to the best of my ability. So, all of that aside, we're going to close out our week with Run the Mile You're In. The theme this week, or the title or whatever, is relationships, which I really love. He spends the majority of the chapter talking about 2 specific relationships. Obviously how he met his now wife, Sarah, which is a fun little story. And then he also talks about another relationship he had with a guy that he went, I believe it was a running camp. Went to his running camp, and they still remain good friends to this day. But how both of these people had such an influence on his career and, how far he's come. And how important, community and relationships are. God created us to have relationships, with other people and with him. And so what he says in here is, if we are to reach our God-given potential, it's going to happen through our relationships. I think that's how God designed life to be. He was the one who created Adam and then said it wasn't good for Adam to be alone. So he designed community to help him and make him stronger. Genesis 2:18. When I think about why God made humans in the first place, it boils down to the fact that he created us so we could be in relationship with him. And then he shares the verse from 1 Corinthians 13 where if you speak with tongues of men and angels but have not love, you're just a clanging cymbal. And the different things that we could be doing in life, but if we don't do it with love, it's not going to mean much. And that's how we should approach our relationships. And he says, if our reaching our fullest potential is not motivated by loving others, we miss what is truly important in life, loving God and loving others. And he gives the example of Jesus. He was able to minister to thousands, but he intimately invested in only 12. Yet through those 12 friendships, he changed the world. That's why we need to look at our relationships and not our accomplishments as our true legacy. We can't be so self-focused that we miss out on the relationships that God intended for us to both invest in and reap from. In his very last little blurb in here, I loved. He says, I'm convinced that serving others, especially when you're doing it in your area of giftedness, is one of the most gratifying and satisfying things you can do in life. What Jesus said is absolutely true. It is more blessed to give than to receive. And that's from Acts chapter 20. And I really believe that Ryan Hall, this book is a few years old, but I believe that he still, leans into his area, even though he doesn't run competitively anymore. He does a running camp. I think he does a couple each year, but, he pours into people that way through his area of giftedness, which was, athletics and running. So I read that, and it just made me think of the people that have helped me get here. My dad, my sister, my husband, my run buddy Emily, even my stepkids who when they started running in middle school led me to the running thing, and And like I've mentioned before, I'm hoping that doing stuff like this, you know, vlogging my training and my weekly, ups and downs that seem to be happening, especially this time around, I want to use it as a platform just to remind people how much God loves them, because I know that sometimes it's easy just to forget that He really does care about even the littlest things. I told my cross-country kids in the last couple of weeks, I'm like, God created you, every big thing and every little thing, and that includes your, even the smallest little interest in a hobby like running. And if we can use this as a way to glorify Him, all the more He's going to care about our interests. So always remember that God cares about even the littlest thing. So I hope everyone's doing good. I know I posted my 9-mile picture in Dare to Dopey saying that if you're still struggling with heat, just be encouraged that those cooler temperatures are coming, and man, does it make a difference on that pace. Getting that warm weather running in really does show up later when the temperatures drop. So if you're still dealing with the heat, just don't worry, the cooler temperatures are coming, I promise. Be sure to give this video a like. Leave me a comment. Who are some people in your life that have really helped you reach your potential, either in running or your career or your relationship with God, anything like that? Share some of your awesome relationship stories. And be sure to subscribe. I guess one thing I really haven't completely mentioned is why my whole routine got flipped. I know I said I was going somewhere this weekend. I'm actually going to a women's event in southern Georgia, or kind of mid-southern, where, away from here, to see Priscilla Schreier. There's a group of my friends, a group of ladies from my church. We're all getting ready to leave here in a few hours, and so we get to go see her speak, and I'm super excited. I've never seen her speak live, but I've been a big fan of Priscilla Schreier for a few years now, so I'm super excited. Always remember that you are God's masterpiece, and I'll see you next week.
No more, not today. You are in the world, but you are not of the world. You're made of different stuff. You serve a different kingdom. You should stick out like a sore thumb. Folks should look at you and look at me and know there's something different about her. And then